Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and tonight we are looking at the most romantic subject for this Valentine's Day weekend that possibly exists in the whole multiverse. That's right, it's Transformers in Love. And as you can see, there's a lot of paired couples in here, and actually there's a lot more than just that. There's more than we are possibly going to get through this live stream. That is how important love is to this franchise all about alien robots that kill each other. So, welcome everyone. My computer's bleeping at me, and we are going to make that stop. You'll never guess who that was. So thank you everyone for joining us for this Valentine's Day special love stream. I am your host, White Chocolate Clay. Yeah, that's right. I'm trying it out. It kind of sounded better in my head. So, before we get in... Love that theme. That's a good theme. They should still use that. I think we should bring that back. That should be brought back. So, thank you once again, everyone. Before we roll into everything else, let's see. It is Valentine's Day, so we want to toast all of our guests and also welcome Mechagodzilla. This is a special Valentine's Day decked out Mechagodzilla, and Mechagodzilla is going to be giving away Valentines at the end of the live stream, so we can look forward to that later on. Thank you, Mechagodzilla. That's great. Wow. And I feel like Mechagodzilla here. Do we have? Here, well, thank you for that, Mechagodzilla. Well, if everybody can still see us, okay. I'll put that down. We do want to welcome everyone who has joined us. So, I need a beverage. I need a beverage if I'm going to toast people. And while you're getting the beverage, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our drinking word for tonight. And that drinking word is together. Because, really, whether you're a robot from another planet, fighting for survival, or maybe fighting to enslave Earth, ultimately, aren't we all just seeking togetherness? So, yeah, that's what we've got. We've got together, and I've got my special Valentine's Day drink. So let's go ahead and let's toast our guests in chat, because it's all for you. You know, we are starting this Valentine's Day weekend together. That's right. See how I brought that back? So, because I said it, I have to. All right, so, welcome to Brick. A toast to Brick. You also know him as Dawn, my co-host with the co-most. And Machiavellic, a toast to Machiavellic. Paper straws stick to your lips. Just gonna say that's a thing. And Joy. And Kyoji. And Starhound. I just read what I say. I'm sort of like Anchorman. Yeah, you put it on there, and that's what I'll say. Ty Guy, of course, Ty Guy. And isn't it Ty Guy's birthday? It is. So we have a birthday for Ty Guy. So Extra and Canadian Ranger and Suck It San Diego. Oh, well, you know, it's gonna be that kind of a night, I can tell already. So, here's a toast to you, Suck It San Diego. So, since it is Ty Guy's birthday, and Ty Guy, you are here, then I think we need to wish you a happy birthday. And for that, you get the ukulele. Oh, my ukulele birthday. And a side play. Wait, and a bucket of cake. And a bucket of cake. You know, you'd think that with a song that only has like one line, I'd be able to remember it. But no. So let's try this again. Oh, my ukulele birthday. And a bucket of cake. And my ukulele birthday. Isn't that terrible? Birthday and a bucket of cake. Oh, my ukulele birthday and a bucket of cake. My ukulele birthday and a bucket of cake. And a bucket of cake. In my head, Dawn was singing along with me. That was terrible. Oh, we try so hard. But it is Ty Guy's birthday. Everybody in chat, please wish Ty Guy a happy birthday. A toast to Ty Guy and his birthday. And we do have cake, and it's a special Valentine's Day cake. Flying in from the Empire on a blue flying saucer. All right, Ty Guy, I'm gonna need you to blow this out. Get real close to your screen. Ready? Oh. Okay, one of your cakes fell. Yay! All right, I'll eat the one that fell. Ty Guy, I need you to grab this one. We're gonna pass it through the internet. You got it? Excellent, good job, Ty Guy. So there we go. And we will set that over here, and I will share in my piece of cake. Say, that's Little Debbie. Little Debbie? This is a hostess show. Oh. Little Debbie, you can suck it. So, we should have made the drinking word suck it. Actually, no, please don't breathe smoke again. Please, Mechagodzilla. So, actually, it's not bad. More of a brownie than cake, but, you know, Valentine's Day brownie cake, birthday, Valentine's Day birthday brownie cake. So, yeah. All right. And, I feel like you're trying to, yes. So, anyway, just to let you know, Mechagodzilla is going to have Valentines for everybody that shows up in chat, and we will be reading them at the end of the episode. And so, Mechagodzilla is also a Valentine's box, and he's carrying all the Valentines in his belly. So, Mechagodzilla worries me. I'm not sure that I checked out Mechagodzilla's credentials, before I agreed to have Mechagodzilla as a co-host on this episode. But nonetheless, we are together now. And so, we're doing it. And Kyoji says that Mechagodzilla looks like it should be terrorizing the satellite of love. And you are correct, Kyoji. A toast to Kyoji and his astute observations. And I want to terrorize the satellite of love during this Retrobot love stream. I'm going to keep saying that. I just thought of that like 5 minutes before the show. Turn the thing on. There we go. All right. So, and Connie Field and Nathan Fillion are here. So, a toast to Connie Field and Nathan Fillion. A toast. Thank you, Mechagodzilla. Thank you. Oh, this gag, it just keeps going. Well, I'm gonna go to the other camera because, boy, we got a lot of smoke around here. If I can see any of these toys, I'll tell you about them. So, there we go. So we've got a lot of characters here, and some of them you probably know about their relationships, and some you may be surprised. So I'm going to clear off some space here. Put some of these guys in the background, and move some of them off to the side here. And let's start with some of the more obvious pairings that we have seen over the years. Well, I guess it's not so much that we've seen them over the years, but over the years we've seen these pairings. And I realize that that's the same combination of words, but the truth of it is that that very oftentimes in the Transformers franchise, relationships are mentioned, and you might see something featured in an episode, but it's very rarely really developed. And I think that has to do with the fact that relationships in cartoons are usually cheesy and bad. So let's start with the first example of cliche, cheesy, bad. I guess I shouldn't say it that way, but you know, that's kind of where we're at here. So it's I believe that Alita-1 was first introduced in the Search for Alpha Trion, where you find out that there are female Autobots, and that they have been thought to be extinct on Cybertron, and instead have been secretly carrying off Autobot raids on Shockwave's forces. This was during the Generation 1 cartoon, and so we, along with that group of female Autobots, which have only recently, for the most part, been given their own toys, we had Alita-1 as their leader. And she is shown to have her own special power, which is to freeze time, and but it comes at a cost of pretty much robbing her of her life's force. And then, in order to save her, Prime has to take, and I'm not making this up, people. I couldn't make this up. Optimus Prime takes a tube out of his lower abdomen and inserts it into Alita to save her. I didn't write it. I'm just saying that was the episode. So, excuse me. Mechagodzilla, are you done? Wow. So So this is where we have the female Autobots unveiled, and you have Alita-1, and you have other characters, some of which never even got named during that episode, but we would later come to know them as Greenlight and Lancer and Chromia, and there was Firestar, who, even when I was a kid, I thought Firestar was one of Spider-Man's amazing friends. And then they paired them up, so Chromia and Ironhide kind of had a thing, Inferno and Firestar had a thing. I'm trying to remember who else in that episode kind of, they implied that there was a history with them. But it's kind of telling that in the 80s, when they introduced female characters, every one of them was somebody's girlfriend. So, Kyoji says, and Shockwave and Megatron get real creepy discussing the female Autobots in that episode. Yeah. I remember Shockwave saying that he thought they were extinct, and Megatron was all like, I'll use this. So, that was, yeah. Yes. You know, it takes on a whole new meaning on the Valentine's Day episode. Yes. Well, I'm glad that Beast Wars Megatron is only joining us remotely, because I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable. So, let's go ahead and take a look at Alita-1. This is not the first ever Alita-1 toy, but it is the first ever Alita-1 toy that had her own mold. She is not a direct repaint of anyone, and even though she shares a lot of her geometry with Power of the Prime Starscream, she is a retool. She is obviously very distinctively her own character, with her own head, her own body, a very similar vehicle mode, but it is different. Whereas before, she was always just a repaint, usually of RC. And so here she is in her robot mode. She's got a lot of back kibble, but not an excessive amount. Of course, we've seen Alita-1 in the past. I featured her during our Ladies' Night live stream, where I was talking about Alita-1 and her elite guard that I've created, mostly out of, in fact, entirely, well, no, mostly out of these other various repaints of Nova Star and Moonracer. So here we go. We've got Alita-1 here, and we will transform her. Yeah, she looks good, by the way. Yeah, I do like this toy. She does suffer from the silver sticker incident of the Power of the Primes line. That was what 2017, 2018, something like that? Yeah, 2018. So yeah, the horrible silver sticker incident of 2018. That's how we all remember it. So War of Cybertron's trilogy for 2020 is just a repaint, slight retool of RC. Again. And that mold kind of sucks. I'm just saying. That it's a bad mold. I will probably not be getting that figure because it's not very good. This one's better. So let's look at this one. So I'm going to turn her head around, and I'm going to pull the cockpit. Is it right for a female Transformer to have a cockpit? Actually, you know what? I'm not even going there. I'm not even... Together! going to get myself into trouble early tonight. We're not even 20 minutes into this, and I'm already screwing up my lines, flubbing over my language, choking on stardust here, and getting into areas that should not be discussed for a family-appropriate live stream. So anyway, we're going to take the nose cone of the jet, and we're going to snap it right over the head. That's after spinning around the back. And then you can take these little panels and snap them down like that. We have the legs, which the knee joints are on a double hinge. So they do this weird thing where you kind of disengage them and then move them up. And we do have these little panels inside the legs that need to fold down out of the way when we do that. So let's fold those, and then we move these. And now we can straighten out the wings. Now let's snap the legs together because they do have some little connecting points in between. So we're going to snap them together and then get them to mesh up with the back. And by this point, the back of her vehicle mode should look pretty good. And now we just have to do something with the arms. The official transform is to leave the fists out, and that leaves these little alignment pegs here in her wrists, which is hard to see. There, you can see it right there. So that little alignment tab, that will engage with these little holes right on the side of the leg. And that snaps into that side. Doesn't even really snap. It just sort of goes in. And I appreciate that the alignment pegs are there. There's also alignment pegs on the back of the arms that engage with the wrists, or with the wings. So that just kind of all fits together nicely like that. And so you have this. Oh, and you can also flip the feet out like that. And if you so choose, you can grab the landing gear, which is in the front. It's at the very, very tip. I don't really like that, but I understand that they had to do that in order to make space for this piece of linkage here that swings from there to up there when it transforms. So I get it, but I don't really like it. Nonetheless, that's how it is. So it's a cool looking jet mode. It's got holes in the wings, which is very cool looking. Probably not very practical in terms of aerodynamics, but that is what she looks like. She's got these little gun things that plug into the shoulders, or you could take them out and plug them in under the wings. The entire back is pink foil stickers. And let's go ahead and get the side camera on that. You can look at that, and I like the design of the stickers. I think that what they did here is great in concept, but you look at how those stickers fit, and they really, really look cheap. I have tried to keep this toy in the box and keep it pristine. And you can see that the edges of the stickers are already wanting to peel up. I hate these foil stickers. They are probably the worst thing that they could have done. Even just some very simple minimal detail painting would have been a better solution than these horrible, horrible foil stickers that don't even really fit the geometry. You know, there's a lot of detail that's been put into the molds here, and the stickers just kind of go over top of them. They just stretch over top of them, and you see how they just look wrinkly. So they're pretty bad. The ones on Starscream were far worse, and I will say that too. Starscream, these are red and magenta and pink, and that hides a lot of sins. the Starscream foil stickers were mostly silver, and they looked awful. Absolutely awful. Carlini is here! So, a toast to Carlini! Happy Valentine's Day, Carlini, and happy Ty Guy's birthday. So, yeah, wish Ty Guy a happy birthday, and also eat something that's bad for you, like a frosted brownie. So that is the vehicle mode. Oh, I'm getting another message. Wait, I'm getting a message from my producer. Always have to stick your finger in your ear when you get a message like that. Oh, Bushman Brown is here! A toast to Bushman Brown! Sorry, I'm working out the brownie. My paper straw is collapsing. I've got a new paper straw. Okay, here. Usually at least it lasts one drink, but this one is, I guess this is a lesser quality paper straw. This one has spiders on it also, so wait here, you can see that here. I'll get my face close so that the camera will focus in on it. There we go, yeah, it's got spiders and stuff, so that's pretty cool. All right, and so for those people who just joined us, this is the drinking word. So, like, two, if there were two that had to go get a pronoun for a female, then to get, yeah. Which is what Prime had to do during that episode. He went to Cybertron to get her. And, then that means I have to drink, because I said to. Anyway. So, now, obviously, in the Gen 1 cartoon, I don't know if they showed Alita-1's transform in that episode. They showed a lot of them as having, kind of various Cybertron-y looking vehicle modes, and I don't remember if they showed Alita's vehicle mode or not. I want to say that you got like a glimpse of her transforming, but it was just sort of a reddish pink blob, and you didn't really see it for very long. So, but it would have been a ground vehicle, because back in the Gen 1 cartoon, with the exception of aerial bots that were specifically made as flying Autobots, Autobots were ground vehicles. Jetfire was an exception, but he started as a Decepticon. So that was something that the Generation 1 continuity kind of drew a line in the sand. The Decepticons were flyers. They transformed into jets and military vehicles. Autobots didn't fly, and in the pilot episode, they flew all the time, but Optimus Prime said, the Decepticons are too fast for us in the air. So he was like, okay, we're not good flyers. And then later, they just pretty much rolled that back and kind of ignored that Autobots ever flew without the aid of a jetpack. So, Mason Fur is here! So, a toast to Mason Fur! Happy Valentine's Day, Mason Fur! And Mason Fur wished Ty Guy a happy birthday. And I am almost out of stuff. So, we got that. Yeah, I've already polished off some stuff. So, it is funny that Alita-1 would turn into a jet, specifically one that's a retool of Starscream, rather than being oh gosh, now I'm pulling a blank on the leader of the of the Rust Renegades. Pyromagma, who turns into a fire truck. You know, that seems like a more appropriate transform for the counterpart to Optimus Prime from the Gen 1 continuity. If she had been some kind of a truck, fire truck would have been appropriate, but that is all Pyromagma now. So, we do also have, representing Prime, we have Siege Optimus Prime, and I wanted to bring Siege Optimus Prime out because I haven't really given him a lot of time in the spotlight. And, oh, that's beautiful. You know, just wait your turn, Prime. We've got more important stuff to look at here. I want everybody to see the drink that Monica made for me. Isn't that gorgeous? My wife loves me and loves to get me inebriated. So, thank you, Monica. This is beautiful. And by the way, I feel like I'm realizing that I have committed a tremendous disservice because this is the Valentine's Day live stream, and I have not had us toast the most important person in this channel, and that is my loving, beautiful wife, Monica. Let's all toast Monica, because without her, these live streams would not happen. Very good. Very good. Seriously, for those who don't know, I'm taking a sidebar, but I feel like it's important because it is Valentine's Day weekend. No one works harder on this channel than Monica, and that includes me. She has taken over ownership of this channel in a way that is inspiring and humbling. She has spent the last week researching couples, learning about couples in Transformers fiction that I never knew existed, pulling toys, figuring out all this stuff, building Mechagodzilla. She's been doing all of this. And really, the whole concept of these style of videos comes from her. So anybody who doesn't realize just how profoundly important Monica is, beside the fact that I love her and she is my world, needs to understand that everything that we're doing here on the weekends is really because of her. So thank you, Monica. And she says, oh, and Hope Doran is here. Hope, you came just in time to hear me giving accolades to your beautiful sister. A toast to Hope. And by the way, Hope, it's Ty Guy's birthday. Wish him a happy birthday. So now, back to Optimus Prime. So we have Optimus Prime here. This is Siege Optimus Prime. And I was noticing that he does seem to share some geometry with Earthrise Optimus Prime, but his transform is distinctly different. And I think that it's worth noting because he's actually a really, really good Optimus Prime. And it's funny because they came out with this version of Prime, and then they came out with Earthrise Optimus Prime the very next year that was that looked like an entirely new mold. It might be a remold, but boy, it seems like there's a lot of changes, enough that he seems like a new mold. And so I wanted to pull out Siege Prime because he's kind of awesome. And it does beg the question, why did they need two? He's, I guess, supposed to be a Cybertronian truck. We'll get to that. But you look at him, he does have, of course, the kind of articulation that that we are used to from this line. He's even got these little panels on his arms that allow him to move his shoulders up in neat ways. He's got a little bit of fender here on the underside of his elbow, but not enough to really get in the way. He's got a lot of back kibble here. He does have this panel here that goes on the back, and then there's a couple holes there that can hold his shield, which also turns into an axe, and his ion blaster, which once again is very similar to his original ion blaster. This one is a little bit more sci-fi looking than a lot of the other ones that we have seen, but it still mimics a lot of those original shapes and design elements. So here he is. Let's go ahead and let's transform him real quick so that you can see just what's involved here. We've got the back panel, which does this flip over thing, and then we've got a lot of truck front in there. And see, this is where I'm noticing a lot of the similarities. You've got all these panels that are attached to this that are very similar to the panels that are contained within Earthrise Prime's chest when you break it open. So we're going to open that up. We've got doors here. Now this one does not have a matrix, and in that I think that in the fact that it doesn't have a matrix and that you have all of this back kibble here, the Earthrise version may be the superior mold overall, but this one is still really, really nicely done. Joy says, okay, I really like the battle damage look. It actually ties the figure together nicely. And Joy, I absolutely agree with you. I love this whole aesthetic. Oh, she got me, didn't she? Oh, Joy! Oh, Joy, I thought we were friends. It ties the figure together nicely. Here's a toast to you, Joy. Wow, I really fell for that hook, line, and sinker. Didn't even see that coming. All right, so we do have. So you open up the doors here, and then you flip the head around, get it inside there. If his head will stay straight, there we go. And then we can close the chest. Now, the hardest thing with this version of Prime is the wheels. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the pelvis back. Oh wait, the arm's in the way here. So you pull the whole pelvis back, and then you're going to pull out the wheels, and they have to kind of pop out and do this thing. And the one I didn't have a problem with. The other one is just always wants to stick. And you can see that there's a little corner that wants to hold the wheel, and I don't know why one side is easier to get than the other, but it is. Let's get this. Oh, come on. Oh. There we go. Okay, there we go. So very, very interesting and unique motion on these wheels. There's actually two pieces of linkage in there. So it's like a triple hinge thing that's happening to move those down. Now we are going to pull the panels out from the insides of the legs and swivel those around, and at the same time we're also going to flip around this panel that has the wheels on it, and we're going to close the feet. So I'm going to show you that again on this one. We'll swivel around the leg, fold that panel around, flip this panel around, and then close the feet. And now the legs can go together. And we also have these little panels on the knees. So I'm going to get a thumb under there. I'm going to try it. There we go. And they are tricky. Trying to get this one, and it doesn't want to go. Okay, wait, here. Actually, I can get a thumbnail in on the inside corner of the knee. So we do that, and we do that, and now you can put the legs together in a very traditional Optimus Prime vehicle mode kind of way, where you put his legs together and that becomes the back of the truck. So now we have the body like this. Now we can do our usual thing where we bring the arms down around the sides. We are going to pull out these fenders that have the headlights on them. So swing that out on the arms like that, and we can go ahead and pull the side panel up. Now you're going to bring the front around here, and you're going to put the shoulders back behind him, because of course he's an Optimus Prime, which means that his shoulders have to go back and his arms have to collapse against his midsection. And then they're going to fold in like this. And actually, we're going to dip in the tires just like that. Sort of like if Optimus Prime were in Back to the Future and he got a hover conversion. So the arms are going to do that. Now these side panels can close up against the side of the truck body. And we're going to do that on both sides here. There we go, just like that. And now we can close those fenders against the front bumper and flip up the wheels. And now we can take that whole truck faceplate. And personally, I feel like this is not bad. If you're looking for a Cybertronian truck mode, this is, I mean, you could actually get away with shortening these things down, doing something a little bit differently cosmetically, and say, okay, you know, that's his truck mode. But they didn't want to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to open the windows, and you're going to close this thing down like this, and then this middle piece is actually going to go down first. Here, let me get these out of the way. So here, let's have these side panels here and here in, and these out, and that allows them to clear that. And now it goes like that, and now you can close these windows. Very unusual, just tremendously unusual. And then there you have your Cybertronian truck. And what I will say about this is, it doesn't look that alien to me. I mean, it's not a stereotypical Earth truck, but it's pretty darn similar. Let me put this on here and adjust the lighting so that you can see him in all of his glory. So there we go. Yeah, so, you know, he's got the translucent plastic on the grill, which I really like. He's got the translucent headlights and windows and more lights. So he's got a lot of lights. And it looks really cool, but it doesn't strike me as profoundly alien. It just looks a little bit futuristic. Not even, like, wildly futuristic. This does not say to me, alien race that has never seen a human semi before. This says to me, sci-fi truck. And it's not a bad sci-fi truck. It's actually a very good sci-fi truck. But yeah, is it profoundly Cybertronian? Of course, you can also take these things and you can, like, add that there, and you can take the gun and you can put it there, and so you can do stuff like that. He's got a lot of extra ports where you can put weapons, and of course the weaponizer guys are a big part of the siege line. So this is an Optimus Prime that I haven't really gotten to show off very much, but I like it. I like the design. I'm just not sure. Like, it's almost the Prime that Transformers forgot, because Earthrise Prime came, and it seemed like Earthrise Prime came not that long. I'm sure that they were separated by about a year, but it felt like less. And then they've just been doing retools of Earthrise Prime ever since. And by the way, this one is compatible with the Earthrise Prime trailer, so either one can use the trailer. So, yeah. It's just a very good, solid version of Optimus Prime that really hasn't gotten a lot of play, other than the fact that you got to see him in the Netflix Siege series, and presumably he didn't change his body for the Earthrise series, but they never showed him transformed either. So yeah, this is kind of a mode that will probably, it's probably not going to appear in the comic books. It's probably not going to appear again in the Netflix series. It's probably going to be lost to history, except for some very, very scant references in Transformers media. So that is Optimus Prime and Alita-1 in a very traditional, okay, I'm leader of the Autobots, you're leader of the female Autobots, we have to be girlfriend-boyfriend kind of thing. Machiavellic says, that truck mode looks less alien and more like an Earth truck cosplaying as a space vehicle, but without much effort. You are absolutely right, Machiavellic. This is how, if I had a red truck, like if I had a red flat front truck, okay, absolutely, the first thing I would do is modify it so that it looked like Optimus Prime. That is what I'd want to do. But then, if I wanted to go to a Transformers convention and really show it off, then I add some extra, like an extra light bar at the top, and some blue tint and stuff, and I just make it look like Cybertron Optimus Prime. So, yeah. Ty Guy says, it's the truck's first time cosplaying, it's still learning the craft. You know, there is something to be said when cosplaying for simplicity. There was a comic book convention here in Pittsburgh that I went to, and I decided to cosplay as Sherlock from the BBC Sherlock series with cheekbones. Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch. And so my Sherlock costume was, I wore a bedsheet and a wig, and I carried around an ashtray. And only one person got it, but that made it worth it, because this girl says, are you... you can see her adding up the details in her head. And, some other people had already called me Socrates, and it's like, no, I'm not Socrates. And she says, are you Sherlock? And I said, yes. She says, do you have... And I pulled out the ashtray. She's like, you have the ashtray! And she was so excited. So, yeah, that kind of made the experience. And it was so simple. It was a sheet, a wig, and an ashtray. So, Brick says, it's a Cybertronian what the truck. A toast to all three of you. You're all correct, and I agree with you. Cybertronian what the truck. That's good. You know what? You would make a good co-host on this show. Have you ever thought of... See, the humor is that he's... Never mind. So, So let's go on and let's talk about another well-known generation romance that only lasted for one episode, and that is with, the very noisy, oh gosh, this guy is so noisy. Oh, stop it! Shut up! Oh, there's a reason why I took the batteries out of so many of these characters that had sound boxes. So, this is Powerglide's chest. Wait, no, there we go. It's Powerglide and Carlton Ritz. Astoria Carlton Ritz. The woman who is named after 2 hotels. There was the one episode called The Woman Who Loved Powerglide. And so you see Astoria here, and she's got this necklace, and she's wearing the necklace throughout the episode, and the Decepticons are trying to find her father's formula. You don't know what the formula is or what it does, but apparently it's very, very important, and the Decepticons want it. And it's actually in the necklace. Or maybe the necklace is made out of the stuff, like if it's a formula for a substance. I don't know. They just left a lot to the imagination, and at the end of the episode, she chucks the necklace into this Decepticon thing to make it blow up, because let me tell you, technology in Transformers cartoons and comic books is so prone to explode. It's because they figured out that the best circuit boards are made out of nitroglycerin. That's the only thing I can figure, because you do anything wrong in a Transformers cartoon and stuff just starts blowing the F up. Yes, I said the F. So, keeping it YouTube friendly. But, yeah, so Astoria, she valiantly sacrifices her father's formula to save Powerglide and win the day. And Powerglide pretty much spends the entire episode saving her over and over again. She was kind of funny in that episode because apparently she and technology just did not get along. She sort of had the Sam Neill effect from Jurassic Park, where she instantly touches a computer or something and it doesn't work. And they played that up to effect in the cartoon, where at one point the Decepticons are hooking her up to some kind of a mind-sucking machine that will melt her brain and get the information, and then, it's not working, and then the tabs won't stick onto her head, and so the Decepticons are holding the tabs on her head, and they turn it on, and it electrocutes the Decepticons, and, just all sorts of shenanigans happening because she is apparently just bad luck when it comes to machines, and except where it comes to Powerglide. They have sort of an antagonistic that develops into an affectionate relationship through the episode. So, and it's one of those episodes that when prepubescent boys in the 80s see cartoons doing romance, we cringe. I can look back on that episode and enjoy it for what it is, but I'm not gonna say it was a great episode. But at the very end of the episode, Powerglide is saying his goodbyes to Astoria, and he walks away, and he opens up his chest cavity, and there's this heart outlined in what I guess are red LEDs in his, inside. So, they kind of reveal that Powerglide, he's in love with Astoria, but we never see her again. And so when they made this Powerglide, was this part of Thrilling 30? It feels like maybe Generations, so, okay, this was, looking, oh wait, we're still looking. We're still hunting. And, okay, so this is based on the 2008 mold from Transformers Universe. And that was a white and red Powerglide. Then later, they released this one in more Gen 1 colors, which if I had known they were going to do that, then I wouldn't have bought the white one. So I guess it's smart that they released the one that was colored wrong first. But nonetheless, so this one does have, you're not transforming. If you open up the chest compartment and you look inside, look, he has the heart that's molded in. And that's, that's attention to detail that especially back in 2008, before the retro thing was really cool, fans really appreciate stuff like that because we remember. And, a kid's getting this toy isn't going to understand why there's a heart there, but their parents will. So let's go ahead and shut up. We're gonna transform him, and then we're going to put him away. You're gonna shut up. I'm watching you. So there we go. So let's go ahead. Oh my gosh. Did I mention how I used to take the batteries out of the sound boxes in all of these things? There's a reason for that. So, no, I'm not going to do it right now. I'm tempted, but no. So, we're going to spin the head around. We're going to pivot up the body. We can also tip the wings down to the sides like this. And now we can take the head and we can just press it into the tail. Oh my gosh. Ah! Oh! Why does it keep doing that? Alright, so we can flip open that chest door and then we can close that, and now we have the whole back end. And now we can expand the tail and tip up the tail fins here. And so you can see already that we have a lot of Powerglide right there just along this spine here. And then I believe that the waist swivels. And then no, here. We're not going to swivel the waist. I'm going to get the arms out of the way. And, oh, okay, so we're going to flip the feet forward. And we're going to twist them this way. And we're going to collapse the legs. And we're going to put the feet together like that. And then we are going to rotate those. We're going to have the kneecaps out to create air intakes. And then that whole thing is going to pivot forward like this. And now it's going to go together. And you see these two holes here in the legs. Well, they're going to mesh with these two holes right here in the cockpit. And that's going to complete the nose cone in a very nice fashion. I mean, look at the way that that all goes together. It's really, really impressively done. And, oh, Mike Spicer is here. Well, welcome, Michael Spicer. Happy Valentine's Day. Say Happy Valentine's Day to your wife. And while you're here, wish Ty Guy a happy birthday. So there we go. And then we've got this little piece of the body that's just going to flip up like that. And now the arms are on these kind of wacky spinny joints here. So we're going to flip those around, and then we're going to have the wings, which are also on a separate joint. We're going to bring them forward so that this all lines up like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to rotate that around, and then I'm going to bring that up like that. And so now the wings are in pretty much the right position. So all we have to do is transform the arms. And so for the arms, we're going to pull these panels underneath the arms back, and that's going to cause the fists to retract. And then, let's see, there is an alignment peg somewhere here. Somewhere. There. Oh, yes. Okay, so the arms are going to pivot at the elbow here like this, and then you see this little hole right there. That is going to align with this little tab right here and allow that to click in, and that's going to create the engine, and also the landing gear folds out right there, which is pretty cool. Now, you're probably going to screw up the wing when you do that, so you just put the wing back to where it's supposed to go. And so once again, we've got the arm. We're going to pivot it backwards this way. We're going to pull that back, and then we're going to move it around so that peg aligns with that little hole and clicks in, and boom. Last thing, we can pull out the last piece of landing gear. There. And so there we have him. He is Powerglide in his vehicle mode, and he has lights and sounds, and you can see and then he says something like, "And away we go!" And then he swoops around, and he outflies the Decepticon Seekers because he's the good guy, and that's what they do. And why didn't they make that a Rattler? I don't know. They made a black version for some reason, but it wasn't... Yeah, but it's Stormcloud. But it was not the Cobra Rattler. Now, later versions of Powerglide were redecoed as a Decepticon named Viper, I believe, and it was like a Cobra Rattler. And this, yeah, you can totally do the Cobra Rattler thing. So, you know, you can tip the wings up and have them do that, and it works. I think in 2008. They just weren't thinking that way. They should have been, because that would have been amazing. I would have bought that. And then I would own 3 versions of this toy. And it would make me angry every time it made noises at me. But yeah, I would love... You know, I don't know what happens to these old molds after... You know, do they go into storage, or what happens to them? But... I feel like a reissue of this done as a Cobra Rattler is still completely called for. And maybe the other thing is make the cockpit open up. You know, do a little bit of a retool. Make the cockpit open up so that you can have a Titan Master sized pilot that would be the Rattler pilot, and add the little thing. And you know what? You could even take out the electronic lights and sounds. Save your production cost by just removing that, and instead, since you got a hollow cavity now where the electronics went, put a little gun port there, that, you know, the little clear gun port, and make room for a second Titan pilot. So, Joy says that she likes the heart ammunition on animation on ammunition, the heart animation on the TiVo. Thank you, Joy. I did not make that. That was a downloaded animation that Monica found. But yeah, it's we got robot assembly arm, and it moves it around. That's actually a very nice animation. So whoever did that, thumbs up. Thumbs up from me. So. Thank you, Mechagodzilla. So that is the story of Powerglide and his one true love, Cartoon Lady, that never appeared again. So there we go. So let's go on and let's move to another well-known and quite possibly the best developed romantic relationship in the Transformers universe. Still to this day. Here we are. We have... Let's do this. So this is Black Arachnia and Silverbolt. At least most of Silverbolt. These are both ones that I got secondhand, and poor Silverbolt doesn't have his legs. And at some point here, I'm gonna improvise some legs from other Beast Wars parts that I have in a bin, but I haven't found something perfect yet. So you're just gonna have to imagine that he's a wolf and he has some wolf-like legs in the back, and that he turns into a robot that has legs. This version of Silverbolt is very, very different from his Beast Wars comic cartoon likeness. It is very, very purple. It is very, very purple. And I don't remember the character in the show being this purple. But then again, I don't remember Black Arachnia looking like this. In fact, let's just give her an upgrade right here. There we go. So, yeah, he was, in the cartoon, he was white and gold and gray. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and point the main camera over at that image. He looked like that. And you know, that's... I feel like there is room in the world for a reissue of this toy in more cartoon accurate colors, or hopefully what would be nice is to see them do a new version. But honestly, if they just reissued this one, I would be just as happy. Either way, Hasbro, hey Hasbro, we need a new Silverbolt, okay? You know, Beast Wars Silverbolt, you're doing Kingdom. New, hello, is this thing on? Anybody, I don't think Hasbro is listening. Let Hasbro know we need a new Silverbolt, because this one is purple and missing its legs. And you could save me a lot of trouble if you just make a new one, and then I can buy it and not have to work on this. So yeah, we have Predacon Bad Girl, Black Arachnia, who was always plotting, always scheming, always had some kind of an agenda. And then we had the chivalrous Silverbolt, which was just done. It's one of those rare occasions where it was just the right balance of cheesy but sincere. And that's what made it work. Like, every time Silverbolt came on camera, they would play this very subtle horn fanfare, kind of making fun of his chivalrous knightly attitude and his chivalrous speech. But the thing was that even though it was treated lightheartedly and kind of as a joke, to Silverbolt, this was who he was, and it was sincere, and it maintained itself. And throughout the Beast Wars series, he maintains that he believes that Black Arachnia isn't as bad as she pretends to be. And he always treats her with dignity, care, and respect. And never, here's the thing, he also never talks down to her. he never, looks at her as though she is somehow beneath him, even though she's a Predacon and she's doing bad things. And, he never approaches her with an air of righteousness. He just treats her with kindness and respect. And he saves her ass in a number of occasions, and then she also saves his. And so that's one of the things that throughout the series, he ends up reforming Black Arachnia and turning her into a true, decent character. I mean, she was always a good character, even when she was bad, but in the sense of right versus wrong, a good character. And we have already seen Black Arachnia transformed many times. I'm not sure I need to show that. I will show Silverbolt here, at least what I can. Most of him is here, so, admittedly, this toy doesn't get a whole lot of use because he's missing bits. But, so you're going to pull the front front appendages of the beast down like that. They're on these double hinge things. And you have this panel here, which is on a little hinge there that snaps. So we're also, now see, this would be a lot easier if he had legs. So you would pull the legs sideways like that and pull them out. And now you can take the wolf head and press it down against the chest. And then the back legs would come up, the hips come up. And let's see here, and then they just go up against the sides of the body like that. And then you have these that go down and they just connect right there in the midsection, and that creates animal legs, and he would have arms if he had back legs. And then we can open that panel there and pull on the nub, and then we get the head. And then the wings can just stay outstretched. And I think that's all that happens there. Yeah, that's pretty much all that happens there. There's a flapping action. So you can, work the tail and flap the wings. Feels like there's something there. I don't know what, but there's something there. So that is Silverbolt in his robot mode. And his face looks very accurate to the cartoon, even if the colors are off. So you can see the detail there. It's a really nicely done toy. Now, what's interesting is there is an Autobot symbol here. I never even noticed that before. I don't know why there's an Autobot symbol there, because this is a Beast Wars toy. But nonetheless, there absolutely is an Autobot symbol there. That's something that if anybody has any ideas on, I'm not sure, but so wait, I'm getting information. So let's see. So is this not the original version? Oh, okay. So this is the Transformers Universe version from 2003. That's why he has an Autobot symbol. That's also why he's purple. I wish I had the original. We're gonna have to search for the original. Yeah, try and get the original because I would like to have. I mean, this is cool and all, but I would rather have one that's more show accurate. And the robot has arms. It's the little things in life, like arms. Yeah. So that is Black Arachnia and Silverbolt. Now, of course, that wasn't where their story ended. In Beast Machines, let's move those aside. In Beast Machines, Black Arachnia gets upgraded to a new techno-organic body done in the Beast Machines style. And this is an amazing toy. This is Black Arachnia from Beast Machines. And she really does just look fantastic. You know, the iridescent purple looks excellent. She has all of, you know, the head sculpt is really impressive. Just all the sculpting is actually very impressive. Let me get her in focus here. So she's got 8 eyes. You can see that she's got 6 eyes up here in her head, on her forehead, and then the 2 eyes on her face. The sculpt on the face is really nicely done. Very, very intricate. She's got feminine proportions, but she doesn't have quite as obnoxiously large breasts, which, you know, that's nice. You can see that the head crest does this collapse thing so that you can close it out just like they did on the show, and then you can open it up again. That's really cool. She has hair. Yo, look at that. And she has a screw in the back of her head. But, you know, try to ignore the screw. She has this green translucent plastic here that really sets it off nicely. This is just an amazing toy. And this was repainted for a BotCon as RC. I think that might have been one of the first RC toys that was done. I'm not sure, but I never felt like it really was an appropriate RC toy. The only thing that makes it look RC is that it's a woman. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, is that... Okay, that's a different one. So that is... So that's the repaint of... But... Yeah, that's not the same one. So anyway, yeah, very, very cool robot mode. Really nice proportions. Creepy long fingers. You know, just keeping with that still, you know, spidery and kind of creepy look. You know, she never, even when she was a good guy, she was never a good guy. She was always a bit of an anti-hero, and that really worked for a character, and it made her very interesting. And it also made it a really interesting story when the roles were reversed, because in Beast Machines, she goes searching for Silverbolt, and she finds Silverbolt in his new form, and he has lost his sense of self. He has lost his chivalrousness. He has lost his lightheartedness. He's kind of a tragic figure. And so, whereas in Beast Wars, it was Silverbolt who needed to redeem Black Arachnia, in Beast Machines, it's Black Arachnia who then has to redeem Silverbolt. And she does by the end of the series, but it's hard fought. And I'm not sure that story was ever as compelling or as well done as it was in Beast Wars. It felt like it wasn't bad, certainly. And in some ways it was very mature, but it wasn't nearly as much fun. And we have recently looked at Silverbolt here, so I don't feel the need to go through that again. But I will show you Black Arachnia because she's got a really cool transform, and she's worth taking a look at. But I do want to give you a chance to really look at just the whole thing, because this is just an amazing toy. Absolutely amazing. And I feel like Beast Machines is one of those lines of Transformers that is mostly forgotten, because it always falls under the shadow of Beast Wars, which was just better received and a little bit more lighthearted, but a lot more fun. Nonetheless, we got some great toys out of Beast Machines, and so it's important to take a moment to stop and appreciate the fantastic work that was done during that series. So here we go. Whoops. Here we go. We've got Black Arachnia here, and Osaka Jack is here. Okay, so a toast to Osaka Jack. Welcome, Osaka Jack. And by the way, our drinking word is that. And it is also Ty Guy's birthday. So wish him a happy birthday and happy Valentine's Day weekend. So, here we go. We are going to transform her, and honestly, I don't even remember where to start with this one. So I'm going to make it up as I go along. We're going to tip up the big bulbous butt thing, and that's going to expose some spider bits. That's important. And I know that the legs we're going to point the toes like that, and then the legs are going to split. So we're just going to split the legs just like that and like that. And then there is also this hinge here on the thigh. So those are going to go up like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to do that. And then something has to happen with the upper body here. I don't know what. I'm going to figure it out. Because yeah, I know how to transform this stuff. That's what I do. Okay, so there's a hinge point back here. Okay. 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 So the arms are on this panel here, and that piece pulls out of the back like that, and then I think the whole thing pivots around, and now, if I remember correctly, this whole bulbous thing goes like that, and it covers over the head, just like this. And now we have a spider body, and then we can adjust the arms to make spider legs, and we can adjust the legs and just pivot them around a little bit and make still more spider legs. And then we'll pivot these around, and boom, that's right. Without any practice, I have made her into a spider. Yeah, look at that. And she's got some really cool stuff. So there's there's a cool action here. I'm going to show it on the other camera. So here we go. This is the spider form, and then when you pivot, or when you press back on the legs here, it makes the fangs articulate. That is really, really cool. And look at this. Look at this. This is just a phenomenal beast mode. Look at that. She is incredible. She looks great. She is creepy. She is colorful. The mixture of translucent plastics with iridescent paints and the colors really, really work well. This whole splitting the leg thing while still having an articulated knee is also fabulously impressive. And this spider mode just looks great. So, that is just an amazing transform. It's really profoundly good. I love this toy. I'm so glad to have it. I'm so glad that my beautiful, sweet wife got me a bunch of Beast Wars toys, and that this was... You got this one? Oh, at a convention. Okay, I had forgotten about that. So my beautiful, sweet wife got me this at a convention. You know, what kind of appreciation is that? I can't even remember which toys she got me for what occasion. But anyway, a toast to Monica for getting me Black Arachnia, because she's amazing. So, let's backtrack just a little bit to one of the other, I've got them. Okay. So, dropping pieces. My beautiful, sweet wife was endeavoring to help me find characters, and I've already got the ones I'm going to look at. So, in 1986, we had Transformers the movie, and with Transformers the movie, we have all the new Transformers characters that we are encouraged to buy and throw away all of the old ones that they savagely murdered during that movie. And so we are introduced to RC, the first continuing character that was a female Autobot of the show. And during the movie, it seems like she might have this thing with Hot Rod, maybe, but then through the movie, Hot Rod goes in his own direction with Cup, and it seems like Springer kind of swoops in and says, hey, you know, Hot Rod's kind of a dick. Why don't you hang out with me instead? And so we have RC and Springer. And so Springer, this is Thrilling 30 Springer, and this is Thrilling 30 RC. And Springer is a character that never really got a fantastic vehicle mode. His Generation 1 mode, it was a good, decent helicopter, and then the car mode was used briefly in the movie, and I don't remember him ever using it during the third season of the cartoon. I'm sure that he probably did in some throwaway scene, but for the most part, he was treated as a helicopter, even though he was technically a triple changer. Of course, we have seen Thrilling 30 RC. I'm not super in love with this toy, but at least it is very, very accurate to the likeness of the 1986 movie character and the season 3 character and her vehicle mode. So let's go ahead and let's look at Springer, because he's actually pretty cool, and I haven't gotten to show him off during any of these live streams previously. I really, really like this version of Springer, and there have been a lot of versions of Springer. I feel like we could do a special just about Springer at this point, and maybe we will, because Springer is one of those characters that wasn't a super, super shining star, but a regular presence in the Gen 1 series, and enough that there have been a lot of homages and repaints and things done in his likeness. And of course, versions like this, where they straight up give us a whole new triple changing Springer. So you see the car mode, and I am noticing that the lights are a little bit bright. So let me back off on the light just a little bit. There we go. And maybe we won't get those hot spots now. So you look at that, and he looks like a Mad Max vehicle, and I love that. The big knobby tires, and the 4 headlights in the front, and the translucent windows, and you know, you see that there's stuff going on here for the transform, but it's integrated very, very well. You know, there's obviously 4 panels in this windshield, but they fit together pretty nicely, and then you have this translucent side that you can actually see all the way through to the other side for the most part. Yeah, there's some stuff in there, but there's my finger on the other side. Hello, there it is. I love the way that this is a case where, because of the Mad Max aesthetic of him, these joints and these extra pieces, I feel like they actually add to the design and give it a much more interesting look. You have a wing, actually 2 wings. These little panels here, which are just on the roof, and you know, they don't hurt the design. I actually like the aesthetic of them being there. They don't need to be there. You could actually like put them around the back here and do something like that, but I don't like that as much. I feel like it's a little bit silly. So, and I know that's, I mean, what's silly when we're talking about robots that turn into vehicles? But nonetheless, we've also got the weapons, which are on this rotating peg here, because of course that's where the rotors are going to be in the helicopter mode. This mold was also retooled to make Sandstorm, who was another Autobot triple changer that turned into a dune buggy and a helicopter. And so yeah, this is Springer in his car mode, probably one of the best car modes that we've seen for any of the triple changing Springers. Even the more recent one that they did for the Siege line was not this nice. So let's go ahead, and we're going to try and remember how to turn him into a helicopter. I don't remember this one either. I mean, vaguely, but we're going to figure it out. So I took the gun off. Gun's right here. The gun does shoot. I'm pretty sure it shoots. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So wait, this does shoot. So let's just show this. But you know what? I need something to shoot at. I need maybe another Transformers toy that I will choose completely at random. And oh, look, it's Gen 1 Wheelie. So here, we'll just put Wheelie there. And we will see what happens when we push this little trigger in the back here. Oh. And there we go. So, yeah. It seems that Wheelie has died yet again. Poor Gen 1 Wheelie. He gets no love. But, you know, then again, he's Gen 1 Wheelie. All this abuse makes me cry. Wheelie kind of wants to die. You know what? You're not the only one that feels that way. So, I want Wheelie to die. Yeah. Not me. I'm not suicidal. I've got a good life. I've got toys and a woman that loves me that's beautiful. So, yeah. Anyway, we've got Springer here. I'm going to do some of the obvious first. I'm going to move these tail pieces back out of the way. I'm going to, let's see, if I remember correctly, these fender pieces kind of pull out to the side and rotate. So I'm going to do that. Let's pull this one out. The first one came out easily. Let me, I know that it'll come out. So we're going to pull at it, and we're going to work it. We're working it. There we go. So we get that around, and then we swivel that around. His rotor/sword stores neatly underneath, which is very cool. And then we've got So we've got these panels here, and something's connected to something somewhere. That's a good assessment as you're going to get. Something is connected to something somewhere. And I think that it's right around in here. Okay, so I think that's right here at the sort of the back quarter panel. There we go. Okay, so we can kind of separate those, and we're going to do that on the other side. And now what we can do is we can split. These are obviously the robot legs. There is a pivot point here, and that's going to fold around like that. And then there's this pivot point here. And now let's see, there's going to be another thing that happens here. There has to be another thing that happens here. So we obviously see some landing gear here. And, okay, if I remember correctly, this back panel here slides up like that, and then you've got this little tab here in the windshield that's going to go into that little notch right there. And so that makes the cockpit for the helicopter. And then, let's see, Monica is showing me pictures. I don't want help. I might need the help, but, you know, I don't want to need the help. We've got these fenders, these front fenders seem to slide forward, so let's go ahead and do that. And then we've got these shoulder things. I believe that this whole thing is going to pivot around like that. And then, let's see, something's got to happen. Okay, so we've got these things on another double hinge, and so that's going to come back like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Move that back like that. And then, so we take the arm, which I've already done it on this side. I'm going to take the whole arm, and it's on another double hinge like this. And it's going to go around like that. And then there's a little tab here and a little hole right there. And when you're trying to figure out a Transformers toy that you don't know how to transform, that's what I always look for. I look for conspicuous tabs and then slots that they go into. And once you find those, then you can usually kind of reverse engineer how you have to get that part to meet up with that tab. Now we have these windshield pieces that are going to fold down around the backs like that. And then there's, see, once again, right here on the underside here, there's another little rectangular tab. And then right there, there is a little hole. So I'm going to lock those together. And that aligns those things. And then let's see. The legs do something. There is something that's going on with the legs. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay, so here we go. All right, so the legs are going to stick together like this, and the rear wheels kind of they sort of become the rotor, like the tail rotor. And so that is pretty much the body of the helicopter, and then those fins that I showed you in the car mode do that. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else that happens here. No, I think that those are just feet. Okay, so that is the tail end like that, and you have these things out, and then you take the sword and you stick it into the hole on top, and then you split see if I can do this without the whole thing falling. There we go. You split that just like that. And now, whoops. Or is it like that? It might be like that. No, I was right the first time. So, there we go. And so now you have your helicopter, and then you have this gun here, which I think it can go somewhere. Oh wait, there's also a little landing gear thing underneath the... Boy, it's really stuffed up in there. Let's see if I can hook that little thing with my fingernail. Maybe? There. Okay, so we've got a little thing right there. So we've got landing gear in the back and in the front, and then we've got a helicopter mode. And see, look at that. That's actually a pretty decent helicopter mode. And then we have this, which I want to say goes underneath. Let's see. The picture shows it like... How does that go in there? Well, let's get that wheel out of the way. Okay. So... There's a thing. There's a thing that's supposed to happen here. And I'm not even sure what it is. But... It seems like something's supposed to catch. But I don't know. We got that thing pivoting. Oh, you know what? It has... There. I think there's a catch underneath there. Well, I'm kind of losing my interest in making... It goes under there somehow. I don't know. And you know, it's not that I can't figure it out, but gosh, you know, if it takes this long to show it to you, I don't feel like it's that important. The important thing is that it does this. Look at that. Look at that. Here, let's go to the side camera. That is a helicopter. It is definitively helicopter-y, and it's cool. Yeah. Now, here, we have to angle these so that the rotors don't hit them. There we go. So, yeah. It is definitively a helicopter. And it's a cool-looking helicopter. That's cool. That's impressive. And that's something that we just haven't seen them do successfully, is make a decent-looking helicopter transform and a decent-looking car. And I don't know why it's been so hard, but it has been really, really difficult to get a great version of Springer where he's got a distinctive good car mode and a distinctive good helicopter mode. But nonetheless, that's him. And he looks awesome. I love this toy. And I really, really deeply respect the imagination and the engineering that went into the development of this toy. Because obviously, there were people that really cared when they created this. You know, there. It's pivoting the knees helps. That. There. Now, once I pivoted the knees, the rotor could spin freely, which is important. You know, that's good. So, yeah, that is... You know, he is an Autobot triple changer that has seldom received the fanfare that he probably deserves as the Autobots' first well-established triple changer. Now, we did have, back in the 80s, we had Trax, who was a car that also had a flight mode. But he wasn't really a triple changer in that his flight mode was still a car with wings. And it was something that was featured heavily on the show, at least in the couple episodes that showed Trax. Yeah, he was more like a mask vehicle. But nonetheless, he did have, two vehicle modes. One was just kind of an enhanced version of the other. Whereas Springer actually did transform from one vehicle into a distinctly different vehicle. And that's what you're seeing here. Just an excellent, excellent version of the toy. And that's cool. That is cool. I just really, really love it. And the version of Sandstorm is also very, very cool. I'll have to show that off at some point too. But moving on, let's go ahead and now turn Springer into a robot, because he does that also. That's right. 3 modes. 3. And yes, I do 3 like this. I've always done 3 like this. I know that normally people do it like this, or I guess in Germany they do it like this, but I do it like this. So I'm going to take the rotor off and I'm going to turn it back into a sword. And I feel like getting it into a robot shape from here is going to be a lot easier than getting it to here from car mode. So we've got these side panels that are going to come down like this, and I can see fists in there. So let's go ahead. Let's pull up these windshield pieces, pull out the fist, and then close this around that side, unveiling the fist, and then we'll close that around there, so we have that become an arm. And if you didn't see how I did that, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to open the car windshield. I'm going to fold this whole thing backwards. I'm going to pull out the fist, and then I'm going to close that car windshield once again. So we've got already good looking arms. I'm going to put in that landing gear, and I'm going to tuck it way up in there so that it's absolutely impossible for me to grab it the next time that I want to transform him. I'm going to disengage the cockpit windshield from this little front piece. And you can see that the head is here. So I'm going to put the head up, and I'm going to let it pass through. And let's see if there's any tricks to getting this to pass through correctly. Somehow the head is going to go through here. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I have to pull that landing gear out, and luckily I was able to hook it with my thumbnail. So, moral of the story, always leave at least one fingernail unchewed at a time. That's one of Clay's tips. So we're going to flip the head up, and now it should pass through, and now the chest will close. And I didn't even have to take the landing gear down in order to close it, which is really cool. So we've unveiled the chest, and then we can take this whole thing and we can have it go up like that, and then we can take that panel and just fold it up for now. Now we are going to take the legs and we're going to spread them apart, and we're going to flip the feet forward, so you see how it's got these little feet pieces right there. And then I feel like there's another piece, yes, right there, that's going to fold out for the heel. And that's going to be important because he's not going to stand up very well without it. There we go. And I'm going to leave these tail pieces down because I feel like having that little extra bit is going to help give him some stability when he's standing. And then we can take these pieces and that the landing gear is on, and we can fold them up against his legs like that. And then we can take these side pieces and bring them up and have them, once again, you see there's this little rectangular tab right here and this little slot in the side of the body there. And so that's just going to snap into there, just like that. And you're going to see it again. So that's the tab, that's the rectangular hole that's going to go in, and then boom, you have a really, really nicely proportioned Springer. Look at that. And then we'll give him his sword, and we'll give him his gun. And we'll put him in a cool, I'm gonna kick your butt pose. And yeah, there he is. So that is Springer. He looks great. He really just looks great. Now let's go ahead and let's take Thrilling 30 RC and let's transform her real quickly. That way we can put her with Springer. And with RC, there's a lot of pulling robot bits from the underside of the vehicle, and we can actually also pull out her gun just to give her a little bit more room to move, and we can pull the other gun out. So we spread the legs, we pull the shoulders down, we pull the chest forward like this. It's actually her lower abdomen. It's like a lower ab plate. And then this whole thing comes down like that. And then the entire front end of the car is on this double joint here, and it's going to go down. And we can also fold up the back bumper there so that her junk is literally in her trunk. And then the chest is going to collapse over top of the shoulders. And then the front end of her body, here, let me move the arms up so that you can see this. The front end of her body is going to snap together with the back end of the body, just like that. And now we can move the legs into a more natural position and flip the feet forward. And there we have RC. And what I love about this RC is that she is armed to the teeth. She is a total badass. Am I allowed to say that? Is that okay? Yeah, I'm trying to be good for the algorithm, but at the same time, she is a total badass. And I especially loved the way that they presented her in the Dreamwave comics, where she was scary. Like, she was scary, lethal, and she was, I think, Galvatron's brother. Like Galvatron and her were brothers, and she actually started out as a male transformer, and she was experimented on by Jaxus to turn into RC. So she is technically probably the first trans transformer. So she's a transformer. Yeah. So there we go, and she can hang out with Thrilling 30 Springer, and you know, the expression on her face defies her murderous intent, because she's kind of psycho. She looks so pleasant here, but she will kill you, and she will have questioning regrets about it. It's like, oh yeah, I killed another person, and I don't really like that about myself. But you know, if sucker's gotta die, sucker's gotta die, and that's her attitude. She was, you know, kind of pragmatic in her violence, and then you have Springer here that really just, I can't say enough. If you ever have the chance to get Thrilling 30 Springer, get him. He's fantastic. It's worth it I don't know what he costs on eBay, and it's probably more than I'd want to pay, but he's really, really an awesome figure. And so these two get excellent representation in the Thrilling 30 line, and so that kind of works for them. And is that new? Yeah. Okay. So I just found out Grayscale is here. So welcome, Grayscale. Oh, I keep trying to suck up the cherry. A toast to Grayscale. And oh yeah, here we'll refill that since. So that is Springer and RC, the couple that, you know, they always sort of had a thing. And it was never really built on, it was never really developed, but everybody knew that it was just sort of a thing. So yeah, and no, I don't think that it was ever really brought over into the comics. In fact, in IDW, I believe that by that point, RC was kind of looking at another, it's another character, and I don't remember who it was, but it was I think one of the other female characters in the comic book lineup by the end of the series that she was kind of getting involved with. So anyway, Thrilling 30s, RC and Springer. A tale of forgotten love from 40 years ago. So, moving on. A little known romance from the Transformers vs. G.I. Joe comic book. I believe this was the IDW comic book. I'm not sure. Or was it Marvel? Braun and CoverGirl. That's right. We've got Braun and CoverGirl. So this is one that I never knew about. So apparently in the Transformers versus G.I. Joe comic book, at least one of them, there have been a number of different Transformers versus G.I. Joe comic books over the years, and I guess at the conclusion of one of them, Braun and CoverGirl, let me bring them up in front of the camera a little bit closer so that you can get a better view here, and we'll get everything in focus. Maybe put a little bit more light on the subject too. There we go. And so this is Transformers versus G.I. Joe number 13. Oh yeah, that's from IDW. Okay, so in the IDW series, this is one of the few IDW Transformers titles that I did not collect. The illustrator was I don't remember the person's name, but they did everything in a kind of colored pencil style that made everything look like a children's book. I just didn't like it. Just didn't like it. And I'm not going to say that it was bad, because I don't feel like any art style that's very distinctive and very evocative of a specific artist should be called bad. But I didn't like it. It like I said, it looked like children's storybook type artwork, and I just didn't feel like it ever really fit the Transformers universe. And then they got the same artist to do the GoBots series that they did, and I tried. Yeah, I got the first issue of that, and I just couldn't get into it. And I think that a big part was, once again, I just didn't like that style. And it's a shame because, you know, I'm sure that the artist does fantastic work and really works very hard. But when you have that's the thing. I had a teacher in art school that once said, if everybody loves you, you're mediocre at best. And so I can compliment that artist by saying, I don't like your work for Transformers stories. Yeah, I do not love you, therefore you're not mediocre. Still didn't like it. Yeah, just didn't like it. So anyway, so yeah, that was the IDW versus Transformers storyline, and apparently by the end, Braun and CoverGirl got married. And let's see, Braun and CoverGirl get married and use a combination of techno-organic technologies to conceive a child. So Billy is representing the perfect fusion of man, machine, reptile, Joe, Cobra, and Arachnia. I don't know. Ninja. So yeah, I guess it's a thing. Anyway, so Transformers G.I. Joe, IDW series, Braun and CoverGirl not only get married, but they conceive a child. And so here we have CoverGirl. This is an excellent version of CoverGirl. She looks great. The proportions are excellent. The posability is really, really nice. Braun, let go of her hand. I'm just borrowing her. So there we go. Here, you can just stand over here. I promise not to get handsy with your girl, okay? So there, we'll just set you over here. He's watching, though. He's definitely watching, and I don't want to tick him off, but yeah, there we go. So here we go. This is CoverGirl. This looks like, what, circa 2010? It was, the movie line. Okay, so, yeah, this is part of the movie line. I don't remember CoverGirl from the movie, but she had one scene. Okay. Nonetheless, she died quickly? Well, that's a shame. Nonetheless, this is an excellent figure of the character. It's got great proportions, great articulation, very realistic in the uniform and in the detail. So, you know, she looks awesome. And, you know, they were very loving, giving her some badonkadonk in the trunk there. And, you know, Autobots like it when there's a little bit of junk in the trunk. So, because, you know, Autobots and junk. I guess Wreck-Gar would rather there be some junk in the trunk. But, you know, Junkions, because junk. That's junk. I'm just going to keep saying junk until somebody laughs. So anyway, yes, that is CoverGirl from the movie line, and she does look good. Let's go over and let's take a look at Braun. This is Braun from Titan's Return, and this was a line. Let me adjust the lighting here because he's a little bit dark. So, there we go. Actually, I feel like he's now a little bit washed out. There. And he wants to tip over. So, let me adjust the light again. There. Perfect. So, here is Braun. This is from the Titan's Return line. And the Titan's Return line was not a line that I really loved. A lot of the figures, especially a lot of the deluxe figures, just felt kind of cheaply made. You know, they were very light. The joints were oftentimes floppy. You know, they were doing the headmaster thing, but I didn't feel like it was really, really well integrated, at least with a lot of the bigger figures. But I will say that the shining star of the Titans Return line is the Scout class vehicles, and that's unusual. Normally, the Scout class vehicles are kind of, you know, they are what they are. They don't change that much from line to line. They're small. They're at the lower price point. You get them, you know, they're army fillers, but they're not usually anything to write home about. But I will say that during Titan's Return, the Scout class vehicles were excellent. They were very well detailed, they were very well articulated, and when they would transform, they all had passenger compartments inside that allowed them to carry Titan Master figures. Just amazing, and they didn't do it by having a big capsule with a door that then you had to kind of work around when you did the rest of the transform. It would usually happen as a product of the rest of the transform. So we have Braun here, and let's go ahead and show you how to transform him. He does have this piece here, which is sort of a shield thing that he can carry. You know, it can go on his arm, or it can go on his back. So we have that. We have this little opening cockpit, and there you can see the Titan Master version of Braun, which I always thought was weird that they produced this guy, and he came with this little vehicle that I have over here. Wait, here. So it comes with this vehicle thing, and it sort of transforms into, you know, something. It does a thing. You know, it does that, and it does that. I guess it's sort of like a, I don't know, a treaded vehicle. I don't know what it is. I don't really use it in that vehicle mode much because it doesn't really look like much of anything. But it does make this little quad track thing, which is really cool, and the guy can ride in there, and that's cool. But yeah, they did a Titan Master version of Braun, and personally, I have a bunch of these, but I just don't know what the play value is with this whole concept. You have a little figure, you have a little vehicle, he turns into a head, but he doesn't come with a guy that you can put the head on. He can sort of merge with the vehicle, so there's that. But yeah, it definitely loses a little bit of something without being included with a figure that it becomes the head of. And I understand that the whole idea was that, well, then you buy the larger the Titans Return figures, and you take off their heads, and then you put one of these heads on. But I don't know. Does anybody do that? Does anybody do that? Like, I wasn't really big on swapping heads. I just didn't do it. And maybe that's because of, when I was a kid, headmasters were introduced as being very specifically partnered Nebulons with a Transformer body. They didn't switch heads. That wasn't something that ever happened in the American series. And so maybe I've just been programmed that, one head, one body, that's it. I don't, in my head, I don't think about the mixing heads and bodies. So maybe it's more fun if you're not programmed that way. But nonetheless, we have this, and I just put this guy in there so that Braun is driving Braun. And yeah, I've even been tempted to take off this head and put in a little connection port so that I could actually make him into a headmaster in earnest. Because, you know, why not? I mean, it's got the head. You know, I especially don't know what else to do with the head. You know, what do you do with a head for Braun when you have a Braun figure that already has a head? I just don't know what to do with it. So anyway, so we have Braun here, and he's got a passenger compartment, and then we can fold the legs around, and they go on the back half of the vehicle, and you can take the arms, and they just, yeah, so it's a pretty much by the numbers transform. And we're just going to pop those. All right, here the arm is kind of getting hung up here. You know, I'm gonna do the arms first and then do the legs. That might make it a little bit easier. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I need to be aware of. So the shoulders are on little tiny double hinges. Oh, okay. We have to rotate the arms to the sides. There we go. Rotate the forearms to the sides. And now when you press in those shoulders. Oh, also, it seems that the head does move, so we can actually spin the head around so that you don't have face on the underside of the vehicle, which is always nice. So here we have a finished vehicle, and he looks great. Let me show that. So that is his vehicle mode, and it looks awesome. You know, from every angle, this looks fantastic. And then you can take this little shield piece, and you can actually attach it right there, and that makes it look a little bit more like the Gen 1. But if you notice, that little shield piece is not necessary to make it look like a vehicle. You know, they've got this extra piece that comes off when you transform it, and you can use it in the robot mode. But notice that if you don't have it, his vehicle mode is still perfectly valid. This is just an add-on. You know, it adds some lights onto the back, it adds a tire onto the roof, but it's really just like one of those cabs that you add to a pickup truck. So that's really cool. And then you have the bonus of having this this passenger compartment for your little Titan Master character. And that's awesome. And then, so what I did was, since I had this thing, I added this little thing right here, and I made it so that I can take the legs, and here, let me split the legs. So they have this little connection piece right there, and right between the knees. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put that right in between there. You know, I'm trying to look at this through the camera while I do it, and it's hard. Okay, there we go. You know what? I need to actually be able to see what I'm doing. So here we go. And then I just close the knees right around that little piece, and they still meet together in between there. Let's see. You can see how, you know, we have this little thing right there, this little pair of nubs right there. Yeah. And then that goes through there, and then we do that. And so now it becomes, and then I can put this back on here. And so now this becomes a little towed vehicle. So, you know, he's going for a weekend with the family. He wants to take his quad track with him, and so he just tows it along behind him. So I made it do that. That's what I did. I don't know why, but yeah, once again, I didn't know what else to do with this thing. And you see that just kind of becomes a hitch point. You know, I added that little thing right there, but it just plugs in just like that. And so, yeah, you have that, and And that I didn't know what else to do with it. What do you do with it? I got a Braun. So that's Braun, and that's CoverGirl, and I guess they have a machine baby named Billy. They have a machine baby named Billy. So that is those two characters. Moving right along, let's take a look, and I'm trying to remember what there was a name. Now this is so. Right here, I lost her gun. So here's the thing. This is actually, if I remember correctly, this was released during the Transformers movie line. It is a repaint of Energon RC, and it is Alita-1. But I don't think it was supposed to be. Because in Transformers Cybertron, there was a motorcycle of this color. You never saw her in robot mode, but her name was Joyride, and she looked like this. And that would have been right around the same time that this was released. So I think, and she was voiced by Nicole Oliver, which is very, very cool. Princess Celestia? Okay, yeah. Nicole Oliver voiced Princess Celestia. And by the way, Monica knows Nicole Oliver, and she is awesome. She's just an amazingly gracious and uplifting person. If you ever are at a convention and you get the chance to meet Nicole Oliver, then just be humble and gracious in her presence, because she is amazing. She is absolutely amazing, profoundly talented, and just such a genuinely good person. So anyway, Joyride was voiced by Nicole Oliver, and she was a copper motorcycle that looked very similar to the Energon version of RC from just 1 year before. So since Alita-1 was never copper colored, she never had the copper and black color, I think that this whole design was intended to be Joyride, and then at some point someone at Hasbro said, nobody knows who Joyride is. We've never even shown this character in robot mode in the cartoon. Alita-1 has name recognition. We have the Transformers movie. We've got to, throw some products over into the movie line. So they just took the Joyride concept and made it and called it Alita-1 and said, okay, there you go. This is a movie toy now. And so in my head, this is not Alita-1. This is Joyride. And by the way, Tim Kangaroo is here. Welcome, Tim Kangaroo. Happy Valentine's Day weekend. And also, for those who arrived a little bit late, I'm just going to remind you that tonight's drinking word is this. And it is also Ty Guy's birthday, so make sure to wish Ty Guy a happy birthday. And so we've got Joyride, and apparently, so here's the thing. I didn't watch the Transformers Cybertron cartoon. I tried. I gave it the college try. Because Energon was bad. It started out strong. Yeah, well, okay, I won't say strong. It started out with potential, and then it seemed to just putter out and die several episodes in. And I remember it seemed like there was a Unicron threat, And then they just kind of ignored that for a long time, and it was so bad. It was just so bad. And then Cybertron, I tried to watch that, and it was so juvenile. It was tremendously juvenile. And it seemed like every episode was about a race on the speed planet. Like, episode after episode, they're racing on the speed planet, and then you get to the end, and it ended up that the race didn't even matter, because even though the Autobots won, the Decepticons stole the planet key. And it was bad. It was so bad. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get through it. I don't know if I could even get through it now, just for the sake of watching it so that I'd know. But anyway, apparently in the show, Joyride and Downshift, who is an obvious homage to Wheeljack. Here, let's take, whoops, he needs his other hand. So here's Downshift. And, he is very Wheeljack looking. And I have to say, I love Downshift. This is one of my favorite Transformers toys. This is one that I would want to run into the house and save if it were on fire. Kind of, oh please don't let anything happen to this, because I just love it. It is so distinctive and so unique as having a really interesting robot mode, a really interesting vehicle mode, and looking very different than everything else in the series. And even though he's an homage to Wheeljack, his colors are very distinctive. Wheeljack is known for being white with some green accents, and he is green with some black accents. And as you can see, he transforms into a modernized 70s sedan. So, he turns into a muscle car. That's really, really cool. I just love it. Let's go ahead and let's show him off a little bit. So, here is Downshift, and he does have, let's see. So, he's got these weapons, and they do have missiles that shoot. They shoot pretty easily, and they can clip onto his shoulders, and they can also be put onto the back fenders in vehicle mode. And then he has this planet key here, and so you have this discrete panel in the back windshield. I'm going to show this on the other camera. So you have this little panel, and you flip it up, which in itself is really, really cool. And then you take the planet key, there we go, and you plug it in there, and it makes this claw thing, which is made out of translucent plastic, pop out the front. And I just imagine this thing with lightning bolts of electricity arcing between them and zapping Decepticons and other enemies and putting them down, or coming out when he's in vehicle mode and grabbing the vehicle in front of him, and then he can disable it. It's such a neat gimmick. And it's really, really well integrated. It just works great. Far better than a lot of the Cyberplanet key gimmicks. So, that's really cool. In fact, I'm going to show that again, because you didn't really get to see it pop out before. And notice that even though this is on his back, the function still works even when he's in robot mode. So let's just put that in there like that. And okay, you ready? Here we go. Look at that! That is so cool! That is so cool! It's just awesome! I love it. I just love it. So let's put that back in. And we'll show his transform. So we're going to fold the fists in, and then we're going to fold the arms up into the shoulder panels. We're going to fold the head down. Notice he's got the wheeljack ear thingies off the side of his head, but they're spring-loaded so that his head can retract in, and they'll just go in. And then you put the roof of the car here. You put the legs together. There's just some little nubs there that put those together. And then we're going to open the panels on the shins and flip up the feet and then close the panels. And then it's going to, see, the back end of the feet have the exhaust on them. And then you just close these little doors right there. You take the bottom portion of the body right there and you fold it back like that. And you're going to, let's see, then you're going to rotate the shoulders and you're going to put them up like this. And you're going to put them into those legs like that, and then you're just going to snap everything together. Although I think that, wait a minute here, make sure that the legs, okay, when you put the legs up, make sure that they go together. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the body up like this, and then we're going to put the legs together around this whole apparatus here in the back. And that's going to make everything hold nice and tight. And then you put the side panels in, just like that. And look at that! Look at that! It's a muscle car! It looks awesome! Here, take a look. That is so cool! I love the windows. Look, there's a full interior there. You can see seats. The yellow plastic looks great. The yellow translucent. And look at how well integrated this little panel is. I mean, it's just beautiful. You've got the engine sticking up out of the front. You've got the air intakes. You've got the translucent yellow for the headlights. I mean, everything about this is just fantastic. I love this toy. Yeah, I know, I keep saying that, but it's just amazing. And then, you know, you take the planet key. I know, I already showed this, but I'm going to do it again because he's cool. And you have that, and see how nicely integrated that is right there. And then you push that, and bam. And then he can pull up behind Joyride, and he can be like, "Hey, baby, you know, why don't you hold up?" And they can have their thing. So, yeah, that is Downshift from Transformers Cybertron. Just a fantastic toy. In every way, just fantastic. Beautiful, well executed. Look at the texture that they did so that it looks like it has a vinyl roof. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we don't see much of anymore. And, you know, it's not to say that they don't do quality stuff anymore. They do. But he is so solid and so robust and so well flushed out in every direction, and he doesn't have that light hollow feeling that so many of today's toys do. He's hardy, and he's a good size, and he's well articulated, and he also has a very well integrated gimmick. So yeah, that is Downshift. And then of course we have Joyride here, and I'm just going to go ahead and skip her transform, because the truth of the matter is, you never saw her transform in the show. And we have seen this version of RC, so, you know, it's a repaint of RC. It's just a straight up repaint. It's not a retool. It's just RC in different colors. But I think that as far as I'm concerned, this is now Joyride. So, yeah. I never really liked her as Alita-1, and now that I know that she is Joyride, then she's gonna stay Joyride. Decision has been made. Yeah, that's just how it is. Sometimes you have to make decisions. You just have to make the hard decisions. So, Machiavellic says, I'm gonna be honest, I know nothing about cars, but if there's one thing that even I know, it's this. Muscle cars are cool, because every time you see muscle cars on TVs or movies, cool guys drive them. I respect that. You know, here's a toast to Machiavellic. I respect that. I am... Yeah, I'm not like a car guy in, like, I'm not a car guy's car guy. I can't tell you about lots of different models of cars and which kinds of transmissions they had and which kinds of engines that they had and which one was better for this and that and which one got this time and this rate. So, you know, if I were in with a group of car guys, I would be the guy just kind of hanging out in the background going, yeah. And hoping that nobody asks me a question that requires a lot of knowledge in that sense. But I am definitely a kind of a grease monkey. If any of you have visited my other channel, the Clay Carlino channel, there's a ton of car videos where I'm fixing cars and doing maintenance and doing repairs and doing things like that. And most of you probably know that I guess about over a year ago, about a year and a half ago at this point, I decided I wanted a Dodge Charger because I wanted something that was four-wheel drive. I wanted something that was four-door so that I could fit my friends comfortably in the back seat, something that I could never do with my Saturn, sadly. My friends are adults. Like, if you have toddlers, they can sit in the back seat of a Saturn, no problem. But if you have adult people and you need them in the back seat, don't get the Saturn. Because, they're gonna be sitting with their knees up in their chest trying to fit in the back seat of that thing. It's not gonna be pretty or comfortable. And I always liked, Monica and I went to a convention once where we rented a car, and the car that I got was, I think it was a 2010 Dodge Charger. And I fell in love with that car. And I've driven a lot of rental cars, and I usually am like, it's newer than my car, big deal. But that Charger, that was something special. And so a year and a half ago, I decided to buy a smashed, totaled Dodge Charger from an auction site, and the front end was wiped out. And I bought that, had it delivered to my mechanic because they won't deliver to a residential address, and then I limped it home. I managed to, I spent the weekend putting it together enough that it was drivable, as long as you didn't go more than a couple blocks, because there was no cooling system. There really wasn't. Actually, I don't think the alternator was hooked up either. But the engine was connected to the transmission, and the steering wheel still worked. So I limped it home, and the neighbors saw me pulling in on this car that had no front end. And it was dark at that point. There were no headlights. and many have told me since then that they were like, oh my God, what has that crazy guy done? And I put that car back together, and it took me about 6 months, maybe 6 months to get it. And then I got it re-inspected and, the enhanced inspection to get it a title. And now that's my daily driver. So I have a 2014 Dodge Charger that's not exactly a muscle car, but it's muscle car-esque. And, it's that perfect melding of the muscle car that I would love to have with the practical features that I need in a daily driver. So that's, and looking at downshift here, that he kind of reminds me of that desire for that Charger. So anyway, so next, let's take a look at Chrome Dome and Eject. So this is an interesting one. For those who, Chrome Dome and Eject from the Gen 1 continuity, really they didn't get a lot of play in the TV show. Chrome Dome didn't appear appear until the Rebirth series where Optimus Prime comes back, Optimus Prime has been back, and then they have that mini-series in the American series that introduces Headmasters. Eject was just one of the cassettes that was introduced in 1986's Transformers the movie, and you see him jump out of Blaster's chest. He never says anything. He may have appeared in some season 3 episodes, but nothing is really noteworthy. So both of these characters' biggest roles, at least for American audiences, would have been in the IDW comic book series, where Chrome Dome was a memo surgeon and Eject was a historian. So they kind of had sort of a thing, and the comic book takes that relationship in a lot of different directions. But actually, Eject ends up getting killed, and then they meet up with another Eject from another parallel universe, and I think that he ended up with original Eject's memories. I don't know. It got a little bit crazy, as only comic books can. But nonetheless, they established a really nicely done relationship between the two of them, and I want to say that they were conjux endura, so which is pretty much the Transformers version of getting married. So let's take a look. This is Titan's Return Eject, and you can see that he's been made to resemble a micro cassette recorder with a cassette, actually just a cassette recorder, because if you look at that tape, that is not a micro cassette. That is a picture of a traditional cassette. So even though he's small for a regular cassette recorder, he is intended to look like a little Walkman or a tape deck. Honestly, he doesn't really look like a Walkman. He looks like a rectangle with a picture of a cassette on the front of him. And that's fine. It's not a big deal. I want to say, doesn't he have like a tank mode also? Okay. Well, based on that statement, it might come as no surprise that I don't really remember how to do that, but we're going to do it. So, so we've got this little gun thing here. And if I remember correctly, that's important for the tank. And then we've got these side panels that pull out. And then you can see there are treads here. So I'm going to rotate these up like this. And then I'm going to pull these panels. And I think that there's 2 hinges in there. So I should be able to maybe. Come on, do it. Do it. You know you want to do it. Just do it. Maybe? Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can, but boy, it doesn't want to. And I don't want to break it, but there's... there it is. Okay. You just have to push it past that uncomfortable snapping point, but it does fold back on itself. So this one, you're trying to show me the picture, but I'm not going to look, because that's cheating. So those fold back on themselves, And everybody has seen you're watching the live stream. You know I didn't look at whatever she's brought on the TV over there. So you have this, and this, it has to go in between somehow. So let's just see. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so you're going to take these arm things, and they have these little tabs here that are going to slot in right on either side. There's these little rectangular holes right there, and that's just going to slot in like that and like that. And now you see that's like a little fork. It's going to snap in right there, and look at that, you got a little tank. That's actually really cool. Let me show that. So how'd I do? Yeah, that's what I did. So, haha! I didn't need those pictures. So there. You know, I am a heterosexual male. I have an ego. And like any other heterosexual male, it's based on really stupid, trivial things. So, yeah, there we go. That's his tank mode. And then, you know, you can see here. And what I will say is that they've pretty much completely covered all of the tape deckness. Not that there was really an abundance of tape deckness, but there was some. So that is there. Now he's got his little vehicle mode. Now there aren't. Are there any wheels? Okay, I guess there's a wheel there, and there's some little wheels there, but he barely feels like he even rolls. I guess he does roll a little, but like I said, just barely. And realistically, I mean, what good would those treads do? There's a whole lot of tank in front of those treads. I understand why they're molded that way, but you know, it is tank-like. And it's as much of a tank as many other things that far lesser things have been a tank than this. And it even has an elevating gun, which is cool. Now, obviously, the turret is not going to swivel. That's asking an awful lot. But there we go. I don't think that the IDW comic ever even used his tank mode. In fact, I'm not sure that they even showed his transform. I read a lot of that comic, and I don't remember ever seeing him actually transformed. So let's go ahead and look at the robot mode on Eject here. And so I'm going to take that gun back out of the front, and we're going to disengage those. They're the arms that become the turrets, and we're going to pull them around to the side, and then split them at the shoulder. And so we're also going to pull the legs out, and they're just going to come out from here and then go down around here, and then we're going to pivot at the knee and pivot at the knee and flip out the feet on the bottom. And now let's see, we got to get to the head. And so okay, so the chest panel opens up, and then the head just rotates up, and then you close the head, or close the chest, and you can actually take the arms and rotate them at the bicep to reveal the fists, which are inside those little turret things. And now he can hold on to this gun. So let's show that. So that is Eject, and he looks great. Yeah, he really does, for a character that really got no exposure, just very, very limited exposure during the Gen 1 continuity. This is an excellent version. He's got really good articulation. The shoulders are very, very posable. The arms bend at the elbows, and because of that swivel, you've also got a bicep swivel here. You've got hip joints and knee joints, and even the head moves around. So this is a really, really nice version of Eject. Very well done. It does fit into Blaster, and for that matter, it would fit in Soundwave too, because they're just they're slight retools of each other. So that is Eject. He looks great. Let's take a look at Chrome Dome. So we'll set Eject right here. Just stand there, pal. And now let's take a look at Chrome Dome. So, oh, I knocked over Eject. So here, move that out of the way. So here is his vehicle mode. Now, I made a little bit of a mod on here. I added this 5mm hole. And the reason is because this toy was designed so that, you know, it's got the weapons that combine here, and then there's a little seat right here where you can take the driver and have him in the seat, and then there are these posts on top of the roof of the vehicle that can fit into there, and it can do that. And, you know, as having a Titan Master on top of there and having it being able to shoot forward, that's cool. Okay, it is cool, but if your Titan Master guy is inside driving the vehicle, that just looks ridiculous. You know, it's just big and it sticks out in an awkward way, and I didn't like it. So I added this hole so that, and I also added this hole so that I can take this post and put it in there. And you see how much tighter this goes together. You know, now it's a lot more snug and a lot more together. And then I can put this here and just plug it in there. And you see how it kind of goes along with the roof of the vehicle, and it's a little bit more constrained to the body of the vehicle, and I like that better. So, you know, just a simple little thing of drilling a couple extra holes to make it in a way that I like it better. You don't have to do it, but you know, just this is what you can do to ruin the resale value of your Transformers toys. So Chrome Dome has a very cool car mode. It is a Cybertronian car mode, but this is sort of a Cybertronian Ford Mustang. That's what he strikes me as, and the paint detail is very nicely done, and he's going to knock over his conjux endura, and you know, the wheels are done out of a translucent gray, which is probably the same translucent gray that was done on the windshield. The translucents just really always make characters look better. You know, now I've seen some designs that just aren't good, and then they did them as clear parts, and they were still not very good designs, but they still looked cooler. But this is a nice use of the translucents, and it's a nice use of this character, who again really didn't see a whole lot of exposure, at least in the TV series. Now, he did, of course, he was a regular part of the Marvel Comics line after the Headmasters were introduced, but he never really had any standalone episodes. So I would say that he got most exposure in the IDW series. So let's go ahead and turn him into a robot. First of all, we're going to open up the driver compartment and take out whatever they've named this guy. So in the Gen 1 series, the Headmaster was named Styler, if I remember correctly. I don't know if they kept that name or if they gave him some other name, but yeah, that is his partner. Let me see if I can get him in focus here. He's very tiny. So there he is. He's just a little dude. There's nothing wrong with these figures. They're cool. They've got ball joints at the shoulders, which give you a little bit of articulation there, just very little. And then the legs are fused together at the knees. There's a single pin going through there, which is probably for the best. I imagine that if I were to cut that pin and then cut the leg, I think that the results would be very floppy joints, and for a figure that I don't know that I need a whole lot of posability out of this guy. He needs to be able to sit inside of Chrome Dome when he's a car. So yeah. What was there a was his name Styler in the Power of the Primes or the Titan Returns? Okay, so this is Styler. He's still Styler. I think that the Marvel Comics incarnation of him kind of made him sort of a egotistical guy, and I don't know. You really didn't get to know the Headmaster counterparts very well. They featured them heavily when they were first introduced, and then Nebulon partners just sort of faded out into obscurity. There were some scant references to the fact that they existed, but other than the story of Spike's binary bond with Fortress Maximus and Lord Zarek's bond to Scorponok, none of the other headmasters even acted like they had partners. It got to the point where you would see the Decepticons as robots, and you would see them transform, and maybe they would draw that the head does a little bit of a thing and goes into the vehicle when it transforms. But they didn't treat them as characters. I remember in the issue where Optimus Prime surrenders to the Decepticons, and he surrenders to Scorponok in exchange for Scorponok promising to help prepare them for the coming of Unicron. And Soundwave takes Cup's gun, and he says, your weapon, and he has this clear box, and he said Nebulon transform, and then the gun transforms, and it's a little guy in a box. And that was one of the last references outside of Scorponok and Fortress Maximus that you see to binary bonded organic partners. So we've got him, and he transforms into the head just by pretty much folding him over. So now you've got the head, and my camera is actually focusing in on it, which is great. So there it is. And so now we can take this, and we're going to pull the arms away from the sides, and we are going to pull the legs. Well, we're going to pull the legs. Let's see. Okay. So there is. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to open these doors on the side, and that's going to allow the legs to fold open. And then we're going to flip out the feet, and now we're going to close those. And then this whole passenger compartment thing we can just fold up against the back of the legs. And we can take the front, and before we fold that down, we're going to take the arms. They were back like this. They're on these little double joints, and we're just going to pop them forward to be on either side of the chest. And now we've got this piece right here, which is a chest piece, and that's going to fold down, and then we can rotate the arms down and bend at the shoulder. And now we've got the hood of the car, and that is also on a double joint here, so it can fold back and then go down like this against the character's back. And then we flip out the fists like that, and like that, and then you stick in the head, and then we swivel at the waist, and boom, we have Chrome Dome. And here we'll give him his gun. So there we go. And he's got Dudley fur because I've got a Dudley. And you can't see his head because, there's a drink in the way. Wait, there he is. There he is. He's a sweet kitty. You're a sweet kitty. Yeah, he got on my lap while I was transforming Chrome Dome. And he is very, very sweet and kind of tired. So, and now I've got Dudley fur all over Chrome Dome. That's great. So, let's take a look at Chrome Dome's robot mode, and you can see the hair. And here we'll put Eject right next to him there. There we go. Eject, you have little feet. I'm not digging the little feet. There you go. And so, we'll try and get some of that hair off of him. No, that hair is not coming off. There we go. So there we go. This is a good version of Chrome Dome. He's got good articulation in the shoulder and swivels at the biceps and articulated elbows. And since his wrists flip in, then they can move. And he's got full hip joints and knee joints. So, all the posability that we've come to expect. He looks great. He really does. The detail and the colors really work with this figure. And of course the comic book looked like this. He looks like he stepped out of the IDW comic book. Now the IDW comic book really didn't treat him as a headmaster. There is no indication that his head came off or he was binary bonded to anyone. He was just an Autobot. So they kind of ignored the whole headmaster thing, but nonetheless, he and Eject are, they've gone through a lot together. And so, we can get Eject to look up, maybe. And Eject wants to fall over. There we go. And so, these two get to kind of live happily ever after. And, that's the way that series ended, was with them together as part of, the ending of that series sort of, they kind of created a quantum duplicate set of themselves, because after the Lost Light was decommissioned, they were all kind of miserable, but they created duplicates of themselves that could be in another universe and continue their adventures. So presumably there's versions of these characters that are out gallivanting through the universe doing stuff. And personally, I have to wonder if at some point we will see that group in the new IDW rebooted universe. It seems like it has to happen sooner or later. We don't know. It hasn't happened yet, but I would love to see it happen because I really enjoyed that comic. It was a lot of fun. So that is Chrome Dome and Eject. Now we are at 10:58. I have not even gotten to talk about Cyclonus and Tailgate, also from the IDW series. And I guess we're just going to have to put that off because it's 11 o'clock and I need solid food. So we do have Tailgate and Cyclonus. And then we also have Tigertron and Air Razor, who did one step better than Conjux and Endura. They became Tigerhawk. They mashed themselves together. And then we have wait, here, let me pull out here. We also have Rat Trap from Beast Machines, and we have wait a minute here. Where's the first version of? Oh, I think it's over on the counter where I was cleaning it. Next to the mixer? Yes. Okay. So we have Rat Trap and Botanica from Beast Machines. Now, okay. So they didn't actually make... Hasbro didn't make a version of Botanica. So I kind of assumed that this was... But you know what? This really isn't. Here, let me... Okay, so Rat Trap and Botanica... See? We got Botanica here. And I really wanted to get into that because, like, Beast Machines was kind of a bleak series until this happened. And this is the point where it jumps backwards over the shark and becomes far more fun. So, and has a show, is that a thing, jumping backwards over the shark? Like like sort of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where halfway through, like, the first season is like just dull as dirt, and then you get halfway through the series and all of a sudden, like, there's this point where it actually starts getting good. And so I feel like whereas most shows jump the shark and they get worse, every now and then you have a show that starts out kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, first season kind of and then it jumps backwards over the shark and gets good. I'm coining it as a phrase, but nonetheless, you know, we've got Botanica here, and I want to show it off, but we don't really have time to show it off, which is sad. So, that being said, so let's go ahead and let's show the let's get the Valentines for all of everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us on this Valentine's Day weekend. And instead of doing a toast to everyone, okay, now I have to do this. All right, this is how it's built. Mechagodzilla kind of has to give birth to the Valentines. So this box, it just kind of comes out there. There we go. So we have our Valentine's box. And you know, I just like for everybody to take a moment and give Monica any props that you feel that she deserves, because, you know, this is a lot of work. And she put a lot of love into this Valentine's Day Mechagodzilla. So I just want to give people the opportunity to let her know that her work is appreciated. I appreciate it. And so we have our Valentine's Day box. And so here we go. And this is to Machiavellic from all of us here at Retrobot. You've got me raptor around your finger. Oh gosh, that's so bad. I love it. There we go. The camera actually focused in on it for just a second. So, that is for you, Machiavellic. And next we have to Osaka Jack from all of us here at Retrobot. I get a kick out of you, Valentine. I hope that you have these on, like, on your social media or something, so. To Canadian Ranger from all of us here at Retrobot. Valentine, you and me, a taco party pack. Trying to get the camera to focus in. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does not. It really wants to focus in on the background. Come on, camera. I guess I could use the side camera. Nope, not that one. I'd never turn you into snakes. and that one is for Dawn. There you go, Dawn. This next one is to Bushman Braun. You beamed directly into my heart. That's perfect. And to Tie Guy, we have Relax, Valentine. I'll take care of everything. Oh, Beakley. And to Hope. Oh, we love you, Hope. I love you to the moon and back. And to Nathan Fillion, I find you amusing. Amusing. Because it's an emu. And to Tim Kangaroo, if I had one wish, I'd wish for you, Valentine. And to Joy, you are one hell of a Valentine. See, it's like a halo. It's a hell thing. It's, yeah. Doom. Ah, it's Doom. I thought it was Halo armor. I'm wrong. Anyway. To Grayscale. I see you in my future Valentine. Aw, Grayscale. And to Starhound. Valentine, you're the sweetest. So everybody, tell Starhound he's the sweetest. And to Kyoji, Glom Gold, Glom Gold, Glom Gold! Glom Gold Valentine, Glom Gold. And to Connie, let's be friends. You can't get out of Valentine's Day without a let's be friends pun. And to Collini, Valentine, I want to talk about you and me. See, it's got tacos. I want to taco about you and me. Taco about. And to Mike Spicer. Mike, I have never gotten you a Valentine before, but here you go. These colors don't run from your love, Valentine. Very patriotic. And to Mason Fur. Who needs a Valentine when you have science? So good, so good. And wait, there's one more in here. And apparently this is to Wheelie I choose you. And you know what, Wheelie? I do. I choose you. And now we're done with that. So, there we go. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys are the best group of YouTube community people that could ever log on to a live stream every Friday and spend hours of your time listening to me ramble and show toys and stuff. So thank you so much. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. That helps us out. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We were up to, what, 211 last time that we checked? So thank you everyone who has subscribed to the channel, and especially thank you if you've convinced other people to subscribe to the channel. So we couldn't do this without you, and hopefully we will never have to. So next week we are doing Kingdom Part 2. Kingdom Part 2. We are going to finally look at Kingdom Megatron and some other Beast Wars characters that we would like to see done in Kingdom. It's going to be awesome. So thank you so much again, everyone. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day weekend. And until then, whoa, I wasn't ready to do that. And until then, keep it retro, bot. And here we go. We've got this happening. Yeah, I could just let it run. Good stuff.